Hello, and welcome to the Global Unity Festival, the festival that brings people together worldwide, uniting in an ever-expanding numbers to uplift the world. Our mission here is to provide the most engaging and functional platform that facilitates all of these global synchronized events that you are tuning into here today. And before we start on our beautiful adventure, I'd love us to all take a moment to just take a breath in together. On the count of 3, we're going to breathe in and hold at the top. The reason for holding at the top is to synchronize our nervous systems all across the globe and to really come together as a whole, allowing our hearts, our nervous systems all to tune in together, so that we can ride this wave as one. So on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, breathing in and holding at the top, allowing whatever's here right now to gather. And as we breathe out, allow yourself to relax a little more into the moment, allowing yourself to feel yourself here in the present moment right now, as we navigate this journey together with the theme of holding the vision. And as you allow yourself to arrive fully here right now in this moment, allowing anything from the past to melt away, and anything in the future to dissolve into infinite possibilities. Allow yourself to really feel yourself here on the earth. Mother Gaia, Pachamama, Mother Earth, however you refer to this sacred land that we get to walk upon. Allow yourself to feel the support of it always being there, unwavering, enhancing your life, enriching yourself, allowing you to exist. Allow yourself to feel the energy from the earth, rising up into your feet, your sit bones, whatever surface is touching right now, knowing that each of us is actually pulling from the same source right now. This beautiful energy that's always here for us. And a beautiful energy to draw upon when we think about the vision and holding the vision. Because as we draw this beautiful energy, we get to decide. We get to decide how we're going to hold the energy back, this energy that holds us. What's our vision for the earth that we're creating? What does that feel like? What does that look like for you in your unique light, in your biggest desire, in your heartfelt desire? What would it look like for you? For all of your dreams to become a reality here on earth right now, today. And for you to move in the earth as if that has already happened. How would your energy feel? How would you feel knowing that this moment right here, right now, you chose to shift the energy of the entire planet by choosing this new vibration of how to be and how to move in the world, and how in the world that you are creating with your thoughts, your energy, the way that you see. What excitement, what possibilities arise from this vibrational frequency. And as you're tuning into this space and this feeling and this sensation, take a note of how it feels in your body. Where are you feeling it? Where's the sensation? What does it feel like? And as you hold on to this feeling, the sensation, this vision of where you're wanting the earth to go, this vision that you get to hold throughout this event here today, and get to carry with you as you strengthen it through each and every one of the performances, the sound healings, the masterclasses, the conversations between conscious souls who are here serving to uplift the planet. And as you hold that vibration and you move through and allow it to strengthen with each and everything that you get to participate and witness today and be involved in and co-create with each and every one of us, allow it to strengthen so that you can walk through each and every day moving forward with this strengthened vision, knowing that so many things in the world are here to distract from it, and you get to choose. You get to choose how you show up and how you be and how you move. And it is with great honor that I welcome you here to the Global Unity Festival. The festival live streamed here every Sunday, or the first Sunday of every month, to celebrate global unity, to experience inner peace and joy for yourself. Knowing that by doing that in yourself, in your own vibration, you're increasing the well-being of the whole of society, the whole of the world. Whether you're watching here from the Zoom room here with all these beautiful hosts, whether you're watching the live stream in Earth Elders or in the Global Unity Festival group or on our YouTube channel, or if you're watching the replay, let us know where you're tuning in from in this world. Where's your piece of land that you are drawing from this energy that we all co-created and felt together? Each Global Unity Festival has a theme, a focus, an intention for each of the hosts who give their time and expertise to co-create this ripple effect that we have across the entire planet. And this month's theme is holding the vision. So I'd love to hear what comes to mind when I say holding the vision. If you like to type in the chat or in your in the comment section from where you're streaming in from, what comes to mind when I say the term holding the vision? And as we're here in this beautiful space in this Zoom room, I'd love to hear from each and every one of you here. Just a sentence of what comes to mind.
Thank you so much, Rochelle, for such a powerful introduction, and great to connect with everyone here. And we have some people watching us on the Earth Elders now. Shine is commenting there, sending his love, and Shine is actually from United States, sorry, from Canada, actually, from the American wave, and we'll be connecting with him later on today for our American event, our third wave. And so yeah, this is a truly intention here is for us to connect worldwide. And yeah, with regards to vision, when you were sharing, Rochelle, what I realized that we each carry our own little piece of a vision that may be different in some extents, well, in many extents, but there's something that we all share, that longing for a more harmonious world, as they say, right? For a more beautiful world. And I think that's also what we're here exploring. Well, can we all hold that vision together? And part of this space is also with the understanding in mind, and with the belief that our thoughts, intentions, and emotional states do create our reality. So this is, in a way, an exercise in that collectively for us to practice and to experience, you know, what we can create this way. So, and what a relevant theme for this month, for this space. We're also holding our vision and experimenting and always evolving and trying this new format. So if anyone is watching us now from any other platforms, YouTube, Facebook event, you can join us directly in this space. And although this is live streamed, you can also just be in the background. You don't have to appear in the live stream if you don't have your video on. So it's completely multi-dimensional in that way. So I see Karuna is now watching us on Earth Elders. So if you go to our platform or event description, you'll see all the details to access. So thank you once again. And Ratna, Margarita, and Kim, what a joy to be with you here today. So we'd love to, of course, hear your reflections about holding the vision and our own piece in the bigger puzzle.
Always an honor and a pleasure to be with all who are co-creating and all the viewers who are listening. And it's so important right now. It's more important.
I think this is not just me, right? So
no,
Margarita,
she's frozen.
Yeah, hopefully reconnecting with us.
Well, shall I speak into the holding the vision? For me, when I think of holding the vision, it's a vibration in my heart that I'm seeing how I want the world to be, and then feeling that in my body, and to the best of my ability, maintaining that vibration. So I see peace, I see acceptance, I see love, and I see strength, and I see humanity coming together, and I see new beginnings. And so what does that feel like to me? It feels exciting, and it feels really grounded and strong. And yeah, just holding the energy of that in my heart, and taking the time out each day to actually cultivate that, and to almost grow it like I would grow a garden, and still feeling all the things that are going on, but keep bringing myself back to that intention of this amazing new world that we're creating all together. So holding the vision for me is holding the energetic frequency of the new world, of a sense of freedom and peace in my heart, and being able to share that vibration and that frequency. That's it.
Thank you. And also, by the way, you're connecting with us from which? So obviously from Australia. Which city?
From Brisbane in Australia. And yeah, just tuning in. A little bit overcast here today. I've got the window right here, so overcast, and I've got the stars around me. But yeah, beautiful day. Not too cold, but cooler today. Yeah.
And Rochelle, you're in Sydney, is that? Or you're...
Yeah, Sydney, Australia. And it's beautiful and sunny down here, Kim.
You've got our sunshine.
Yeah, we've stolen it.
And Ratna, you're in New Zealand, of course.
Auckland, New Zealand.
Auckland. And Margarita, you're tuning in from?
From the Mary Valley in Queensland.
And in Europe, of course, we're all kind of scattered around different countries, and also in different languages. And later on, I will share perhaps a little bit how the whole space is evolving, and we're reaching out to new communities that have been doing a similar thing, actually, for 4 years. I've just discovered a new community yesterday, 2 times a week. So that's kind of part of the vision here, part of the intention for this space, to really coordinate all of these beautiful initiatives that have been already running for so long, and obviously multiplying our energies, the impact that we each create by synchronizing our activities. So we're also looking forward to perhaps welcoming other countries as well in the mainland Asia over time. So looking forward to those unfoldings as well. So welcome back, Margarita. You were saying?
No, just stating what people who would be listening to this already understand, is that this is a co-creative reality that we co-create it moment by moment, and that what we get, what we focus on. So it's really important not to get drawn into the drama. There's so much drama going on right now, and I don't mean to diminish or trivialize some of the horror and the suffering that's been created in the world. However, by allowing our energy to get drawn into that that space, we're just adding to the energy of it. So our job, I believe, is to now focus on the ascension, on raising our vibration and our frequency, because that is where the power is in that realm, is in our frequency and our vibration. And if we allow it to be diminished by getting drawn into the third dimension, or what's playing out in the third dimension, then we're not at our most powerful. So it's just so important that we focus on what feeds our power, not what drains our power. And, you know, our vision for our own selves and our own future, and also the collective future, and realizing that everything that we create from this point forward must be for the good of the collective, not just for the egoic desires, self-desires that we have been encouraged to focus on for so long. So, and that's a bit of a balancing act, because we get to experience some of the most delicious things here on the planet. Doesn't mean we don't get to experience those, but how are we being of service in the process? How are we uplifting through events like this, and empowering and leading the way forward into the new fifth dimensional paradigm, the new earth paradigm that we are currently co-creating? So, yes.
I love that. And there's so much learning for all of us to go through to step into that, because you know, we don't have that full co-creative blueprint sort of emerging yet, and or activated yet. And yeah, that's also obviously part of our space here, because the bottom line is to invite people to come together, even just if for 10 minutes a month, which is not a big ask, right? And so it's just for us to learn, you know, how do we welcome people into the space? How do we inspire people to do that? And yeah, there's what my personal inspiration is the scientific proof that we're now that's available to us, that our thoughts do affect the reality. And we are also in communication with two of the biggest research projects that are exploring this phenomena, Global Consciousness Project and Global Coherence Initiative. And they're supportive of what we're doing, and hopefully at some point we can also invite them to the space to share their discoveries. So yeah, so much to explore, and yeah, looking forward to also growing and evolving for the following times that we meet. So Ratna, anything that you have that you'd like to share vision-wise?
Well, pretty much everybody said everything. So, but I do agree. A global vision is not about oneself. It's so much more. And I actually think that's one of the biggest freedoms in life, is realizing that everything's not about oneself, that we're part of the whole, that we're a collection of souls. I think really over the years, that was one of my most wonderful things I found out for myself, is that soul connection with people. It takes away that whole thing of, oh, it's all about me. And it I think it helps with our planet as well. When we get past oneself, we don't need so much, or we don't think we need so much. We stop wanting so much. And I'm talking about the material world. And, I think global upliftment, it's not just the one thing. There's the high spiritual thing, but there's the everyday thing, and there's the Mother Earth thing. I just think it spreads. Okay, I think the life force within it spreads. That's what I think. The life force within collective vision, it spreads. And that is a truly wonderful thing.
I think the beauty of that, I love what you bring right now, and the beauty is that it does take our individuality to it is about coming outside of ourselves, but then it's like, how do we individually create that bigness, that the other way of being in the world, because it's such a beautiful thing, and like the unity, coming in the unity, we still get to see that there's individual parts that create that. And I feel like we moved very much away from, community to oneness, and oneness, like myself. And now it's like the oneness, recognizing that the whole of the oneness is made up by the individual parts, and they're not one or the other. It's all connected. And for us to make a huge shift in the outside, the wholeness of things, it starts within us as well. So I love that you bring that to the table, and it's like we get to have it all, we get to be the change in ourselves that helps create big shifts in the global reality. And I love, Alex, where you're coming, that now we have the science that kind of is starting to back up all of these things that were considered these out there woo woo things before, and now we're really seeing that there's actual real scientific proof behind all of the movements that are created in the world. And it's really exciting time to be alive in recognizing how that's coming to fruition as well.
Thank you. So, okay. Also, I'd like to introduce our plan for today, perhaps for those who are watching us from elsewhere. So we do have a program in mind, an outline that you should be seeing hopefully on your screens now. And we did do a little group coherence practice already at the beginning, but actually I would like to just check in with you, Rochelle, because from what I understood, you are actually using those practices in your workplace and in your team. And then we will follow with a bit more of an introduction about other events and the masterclass that we'll see today. And then we'll go into the masterclass, and because this is a kind of festival experience that we're replicating virtually for now, and also hopefully eventually with physical events, we will have these multiple stages, and so we'll explore that in a moment. And once we build up to the peak, that's where the other events, they will synchronize with each other and with others worldwide, if they may be tuning in, to really go into some kind of uplifting practice. And what also we've discovered in this journey, there are so many meditation events that have happened so far with this intention to come together globally. But even within meditation, there are so many different types. There's the guided meditation, there's silent meditation, mindfulness. So there's so much diversity in our human culture and experience, how we can uplift ourselves. And even if we go beyond, of course, there's prayers, there's breath work, and so many other ways how we can uplift ourselves. So that's really the idea for this multi-dimensional experience, that we can each find what we are most inspired by and join that stage or that event. you know, and synchronize the moment together, and that's the most important thing. And then we'll obviously draw to the close later on. So this is our plan for today. And Rochelle, you have anything in mind that you would like to say? I would love to hear about that experience that you have in your teams with these coherence practices.
Yeah, one of the biggest things that we really enjoy is getting everybody in the same sort of state together, and as we're finding we're growing in this place together in the Global Unity Festival, and what you're just talking about and all these different meditation practices, is that when we bring the whole group together before we start any of the meetings that we have, it just creates a whole different dynamic for us to a different platform, a different vibration for us to start on, that takes so much of the fluff away and takes so much of the, you know, the pettiness that can sometimes come in when you're working in big office environments with lots of personalities. And it's such a powerful tool to that we found in the company, bringing everybody down into that beautiful vibrational space before we start anything, and connecting each and every one of us and our hearts together. And it's such an easy tool to bring in, and it makes so many big shifts. I'm just switching my screen so I can see all the gorgeous people on here. Because we get to be the change, and we get to live the change that we're wanting to create. And I think that's the biggest thing, is how do we bring moments like this, that we're here and we're dedicating our time to be here and to shift our energy. Like, how do we bring that in our day-to-day lives? How do we create this moment where we're in meditation? You know, it would be beautiful if we could live in that state, but how do we bring that energy into our day-to-day? And the vision that we're still holding, how do we hold it through all of our everything that we do, you know? And I feel like that's one of the biggest parts, is when we drop into that intention of what we're creating and what we're wanting to create in the world, it becomes a really powerful space to launch anything in our lives from. And when we're constantly deciding to tune back in, it creates big shifts in, for myself personally, it creates big shifts in my energy, and then that's felt by everybody there in the meetings, in the places that we need to go within the meeting, and where they get to go and where they get to talk from a place of heart coherence, as opposed to being in our minds. Because so often, even though when we talk about creating a vision, it's brain work, right? We're deciding how we want to be in our brain, but it's like, how do we bring that into our body and embody that into all the things that we do throughout the day? So it's a really powerful practice to bring in, and it's kind of something that I'd love people who are watching to think about as they learn from Margarita today in the tapping masterclass, or as they learn from the talks that we're having, or if any of the hosts that you see here today spark your interest and there's something about them, then go and follow them, go and be in their energy and play in their energy, and see what they're creating in the world. Because often we're drawn to people because of something that it sparks within us, and we all have a unique way of tapping in, as Alex said, of coming back to that place and coming back to that vision. So if somebody inspires you, go and reach out to them, say hi. We're all people who love serving people. It's each and every one of us are here for that. And if you're watching this, we already know that there is a spark in you of wanting something more and bigger and more beautiful in the world, because that's the kind of people who are drawn to this space. So I already know that about whoever's watching this place. And so it's, how do you bring the energy that you're allowing yourself to experience when you're in a moment like this, when you're in a group experience like this, and how do you allow that to permeate all of your life in all of the different spaces? Because it's a really powerful thing to carry with you.
Thank you. And what came to mind as you were sharing, it's really like we're upgrading our culture right now in so many areas of our life, including our workspaces, right? And we're doing that consciously, and we're choosing what to include and what not to include. If before, perhaps, some of that was conscious and some of that was just a response to the external pressures and survival, now we can actually create from that space of freedom and in many areas. And that's what I find fascinating as well. And that requires choosing, and choosing requires some kind of context and reference points, and that's what we're exploring and discovering. Well, what are those reference points? So thank you. Okay, so perhaps we could explore what our plans are later on with the masterclass and with Ratnamurti's event. So everything is in the context of holding the vision, and our intention is to create these practical experiences where everyone can tune in and benefit directly from that experience practically in their life, and transform in some ways, or be more inspired and empowered. So that's really the intention for offering these masterclasses and events, all leading up to the peak, and building up that momentum over time. So I would love to hear from both of you.
Ratna, do you want to go first?
Not really, but I will. Get it over with. Those old days where you sit there thinking, please don't ask me, please don't ask me.
Like at school, right?
Yeah. Okay. Well, keeping in mind that when people tune in, it is about oneself, Even though we're doing global unity, if someone's tuning in for Margarita's masterclass, it's because they want something for themselves, which is fine. And I know most of the people who watch my talks and meditations, a lot of them I know, actually. I've just trained like so many hundreds of yoga teachers and healers. And I know because they want something for themselves. And I think that's lovely. I really do. So it is about holding the vision, but it's more about understanding the process of creation from a higher point of view and an everyday point of view. So I feel that you need both in life. I used to get stuck on just the spiritual. Well, no, didn't make a great life. So now I think you need both. You need the practical stuff as well as the very higher stuff. So that's what I'll be doing, and I'm a little bit nervous about it because I'm going to be talking in ways that I haven't talked before, because the reason I haven't was because I just didn't feel confident enough to. So my talk might be a little bit all over the place while I try and work my way through it. But we are going to do a meditation where there's a space that we can go to. And sometimes, we want things with all of our heart, and that's the key to it, to the meditation and everything. Sometimes, it's just not for us. And I think it's just as important to find that out as it is to keep chasing a dream. Sometimes that chasing the dream really leads us onto what we're supposed to be doing for ourselves or having for ourselves. And I guess that's what I'm going to be presenting. Nervously, of course.
Very exciting. That sounds awesome. Ratnamurti, it sounds absolutely awesome.
Yes, and Ratnamurti is very humble, but she has years of experience in yoga and different healing practices. So there's so much wisdom and embodied wisdom behind all of this. And so I highly recommend, of course, tuning in and Yeah, thank you for being in the space
Thank you.
and having your offering. And we also have some other participants joining. So Kane has joined us. Hi, great to have you in the space. And so we're just introducing the masterclasses and events happening today. And we're happy to see you, by the way, as well. And where are you tuning in from?
I'm tuning in from Cairns in Queensland, Australia.
Fabulous. And Kane, you're also a coach from what I understand, right? And
Yes, that's right.
What's your passion and your main focus?
My passion and focus is allowing people to live back in their own light again, disconnecting from, disconnecting is the wrong, unleashing themselves from their past, realizing the strength inside them, allowing their light to shine bright in the true essence of who they are by really understanding their dreams, vision, and be able to drive themselves forward.
Powerful. So we have so many powerful and beautiful offerings and human beings in the space. And once again, as I mentioned, so the intention for us to all gather and just be here ultimately for those 10 minutes of the peak and for all the other co-creations and explorations, at least, once a month. So lovely to see you here, and hopefully we'll keep expanding and having more and more of beautiful souls join the space. So thank you, and look forward to co-creating and exploring and connecting further with you, Kane.
Thank you.
So Margarita, would love to hear about your masterclass.
Yes, Kane, you're speaking the language of my people. Definitely on the same wavelength. So the EFT tapping masterclass is all about making your vision a reality. And I totally agree with Ratnamurti that I don't believe that whatever we want, we of course want for ourselves, even if it's world vision, world peace and a global vision that we all transcend into this amazing blissful universe. It's because we get to experience that as well. So it's always about the us as well as about the collective. And the tapping, because I'm going to be doing some EFT tapping. So the tapping that I'll be doing will be about just being able to acknowledge our own infinite power, stepping into that power, giving ourselves permission to get unshackled from all the limiting beliefs and the stories and the paradigms that we have allowed to rule our lives so we can move forward. And it's funny, I've had this voice in my head for the last 20 minutes just going, be playful. It's all about being playful. And this whole co-creation that we're doing right now and that we get to do moving forward. And this, it's like this Tinkerbell energy that whilst there's a lot of serious stuff going on the planet, the more playful we are, and I see angels as being playful. I believe that the angels and those higher beings, they want to hang out with playful people. So the more we play, the more we invite fun and lightness and love and that interacting from that space into our lives, the more we get to elevate the whole world into that space. And some people would think it's probably irresponsible, or I'm not sure what the word is, but it's like, but there's all this war going on and there's people suffering and there's this, how can you be playful? It's like, well, it's you can't, Einstein said you can't create, you can't find a solution to a problem at the same level of consciousness with which it was created. So we've been there. We've done that. We've been drawn into everybody's pain. The pain body has been driving our lives for hundreds, if not thousands of years on this planet. It hasn't worked. So how do we get beyond the pain body? Because we have this, it's not just our own individual pain body. It's the collective pain body. It's the pain body of tribes. It's the pain body of nations. It's the pain body of races. It's the pain body of religions. And the more we allow those pain bodies to continue to drive us, to dictate to us, the more we're just going to get of the same. So it's not about ignoring the pain that's going on. It's about stepping away from those collective pain bodies and going, no, I refuse to add any more energy to that. I refuse to be a part of that, and creating this whole new, this whole new paradigm, this whole new morphic field. So I can't even remember where I picked that up from. It could be from Lynn McTaggart's The Field, the book that she wrote, but this morphic field, that we need to build a whole new morphic field. And as we collectively build this new morphic field, and it sounds very idealistic, and it sounds unrealistic to, and if we're living from the third dimensional paradigm, it is unrealistic to think, oh, well, we can just dance around like fairies and angels and be happy and lovely and just play. That's all going to be fine. But if we look at it from the fifth dimensional perspective, it's about, that is where we have to step into. We must, in order to bring people out of that pain body, those collective pain bodies, those morphic fields that have been causing, and we've all been drawn into them within this lifetime at some point. That, I don't know where that rant came from, but it just kind of poured out of me. So the EFT tapping is going to be more focusing on, let's build a playful vision for ourselves, for us collectively. And let's just imagine this beautiful kind of utopian vision, and what that looks like, and how we get to play together and to co-create that and build this whole new paradigm on this planet.
So beautiful to hear, Margarita. I love it. I was like, where did that come from? Straight from source, I'd say. Channeled through you and your life experience. I'm so excited to be able to be a part of the EFT tapping and learn this amazing skill to bring into my life, to move forward. And that's going to be starting now in 13 minutes time. And so before we start, and we all get the honor of being able to learn from your expertise and learn this amazing technique to take into our lives, I'm going to invite us all into a meditation to bring us all together and unified, and to bring all of the words that have been mentioned here through all of the hosts and the people on Earth Elders in the comments, of just aligning and creating that vision and creating that energy to be in a beautiful space to receive the magic that you're bringing to this space. And so what I'm going to do, and if you need to jump off, Margarita, or if you're just going to hang around, it's up, whatever you need to do. Margarita is beautiful. She's like, no, I just roll. I'm good when it comes. So I'm going to invite everybody to close your eyes down and take a moment to really connect into your breath, allowing yourself to feel the air moving in and out of your lungs. Bringing your conscious awareness to your breath. Knowing that this beautiful breath of yours creates life for each and every one of your cells. Bringing beauty in and allowing things that no longer align to be taken away. And knowing in this beautiful space that we call Earth, that in doing that, when we breathe out, we're feeding the planet with the trees. When we breathe in, they're feeding us. And as you allow yourself to continue to bring awareness to this life-giving force, in your mind's eye, I'd love you to bring forth a blank canvas. And I also want to give you all the colors of the rainbow, all the images available on this planet, all the sparkles, all the magic, all the playful, fun things. And as you see this blank canvas in front of you, I'd love you to start constructing your vision. What does it look like for you? Whether you're calling in peace and acceptance, love and strength, new beginnings, soul connections with people. What does it look like for the collection of souls being in unity with each other? What is your version of the vision, knowing that whatever you put on this canvas is absolutely perfect, and that your unique canvas is beautiful for what you're calling in? Allow yourself to paint this image, this vision. Allow yourself to take the time to add in the energetics of this, that grounded and strength that Kim spoke of, the love that Shine brought in, that garden of growth. That utopia, your personal utopia. Allow yourself to add in vivid colors, make it bright, make it exactly what you desire for your biggest vision to feel the very best for you. Allow yourself to really go crazy. There is no limit to what you can create right now on your canvas. Allow yourself to really brighten all the colors. Add in sounds. Let your canvas sound exactly how you want the world to sound. Whether there's loving compliments, there's being helpful to each other, there's kindness you can hear, there's giggles and laughter, whatever that is for you. Allow yourself to hear it right now. The joy of children giggling and having fun. The joy of laughing so much that it makes your abs hurt with your friends. Allow yourself to bring in whatever sounds make your vision as perfect as it gets to be. Now adding in those feeling points. How does it feel? Is there gratitude? Where do you feel that gratitude in your body? Take a moment to just breathe and expand that a little bit more. Is there kindness? Is there a deep peace and also an excitement? How does it feel to add that strength, that coming together, that unity, that deep knowing, and that wisdom, the ability to hold it all in the duality that is life? How does it feel to find blissfulness in all of the feelings? Not just the ones we've labeled good. Where does that feeling live within you? As you allow yourself to paint this vision. And as you allow yourself to paint it fully and see it in all its glory and hear the sounds that are there and feel the feelings that are there in this space, I'm going to invite you to put your hands out and hold on to your vision. Whether that's in your mind's eye or actually holding your hands out is completely up to you, and I'm going to ask you to hold that vision in your hands. And in a moment, we're going to bring that vision in. We're going to bring it all the way into our heart space. And then we're going to feel it in our hearts moving towards our lungs. So I'm going to invite you to bring all of that in. So squashing that vision down, bringing all the energy of that vision down, bring it into your heart space. And as you take your next deep breath in, allow that vision from your heart space to permeate through all of your lungs. And as you breathe out, allow it to blow out into the universe, knowing that your breath goes into the trees, into the plants, and your vision is now being imprinted into Mama Earth. Taking another deep breath in, allowing your blood to circulate through your heart where your vision is and back into your lungs. And breathing that out again, knowing that your blood is taking your vision into each and every one of your cells. And now out into the universe, knowing each and every one of our perfect visions now is in the universe. And as we breathe in the next breath, we're breathing in everybody else's. And breathing back out. And allowing yourself to just sit for a moment, feeling that collective vision, knowing that your vision has uplifted everybody else here in this moment, knowing that you have helped amplify everybody else's vision simply by breathing. Because that's how powerful you are. That's the power of who you are. And in a moment, I'm going to get you to open your eyes and really connect in to the beautiful people that are here. Give thanks for everyone who's held your vision, expanded your vision, and allowed your vision to be expanded out into the earth, into the people. Let yourself play in the delight of that. Opening your eyes and allowing yourself to see the reality that you've created. See if it's a bit more sparkly. Giving so much thanks to each and every one of you and what you've created. Welcoming Phoenix and Claudia to this space.
Thank you so much, Rochelle, for this beautiful moment and journey. And that's what really this is about, you know, creating these moments and spaces throughout our lives, you know, in this space monthly to connect to ourselves. And our wisdom keepers tell us that, you know, when we come together, it multiplies. And when there's 10 that come together, it multiplies 100-fold. When there's 100 that come together, it multiplies 1,000-fold. So thank you so much. And yeah, this really is what I'm present to what Margarita was saying. It's stepping out of those old morphic fields. And what Kane was sharing, his passion is to unleash people from the past. And it really is about practicing this attention and focus, which is, all we did. We just focused on something else, and that's all it takes. And really, it's developing that mastery. And these are the moments when we train and when we practice to do that. And yeah, thank you so much. Welcome, Claudia and Phoenix. So we're now moving into our masterclass. So really flowing from this beautiful experience to a deeper practical practice with our consciousness. And yeah, would love to hear if anyone who's just joined has any questions, anything you'd like to share, or connect with others in any other way.
I love, as I entered the room, I came in through breath, and as Rochelle was guiding, through breath. And it's as simple as that, exactly as what Rochelle was saying. As we breathe with the vision and allow movement in the vision, of the vision, for the vision, anything's possible. Absolutely anything's possible. And I love that we're also about to experience some magic from Margarita. And so it'll be really interesting as to how the breath moves through the beautiful practice that she's going to be guiding us through, and how we can allow all that's evolved up until now with our breath to move through the EFT practice, and then to continue going on as we lead up to the beautiful 10 minutes that we're going to experience at the end of these few hours together. So thank you.
Thank you. And welcome, Phoenix, as well. And by the way, Claudia, where are you joining us from in the world? Which, obviously Australia, but which part?
Yes, I'm in Sydney. We're by the beach, so lots of sea air here. Really nice, refreshing, open sea air. And actually, as far as holding the vision, there is something I would love to share, because it just popped up on my Facebook today. And my husband and I have been together for 22 years. And probably about 21 years ago, we wrote in a journal what we would like, how we'd like to, I wrote it, and I just, he just sort of just talked. It was me. But anyway, we did it together. We wrote in a journal how we wanted to live. We spoke about an area that didn't exist. It really did not exist, because it was just like, I don't know which area it is. I don't know which area it is. Anyway, we spoke about an area. We spoke about a place where when you walk out, you're somewhere where there's a community, where there's fresh air, where you could kind of be barefoot when you leave the house. We literally live in that space right now and have co-created a community that is beyond the beyonds. And not only that, because it's holding the vision, which is in line with what we're speaking about here. It's holding the vision, but it was also delighting in the possibility of it, but not holding it and then looking at how far away I was from it, if that makes sense. So therefore looking at the why it's not. The other thing that we did, which I found another photo just a couple of weeks ago, so it's really interesting all of this is playing out now, is I taught my husband how to polka, yes, polka, on the beach, which is literally the beach that we live across from. And this is a new area, and we are the first home on this piece of land. So I guess really what I want to say around that is that, and thank you for the prompt, Alex, is that anything's possible. Just allow the timing to be divine and perfect and amazing and incredible. Like, I wouldn't have recognized it if it had have come in. Okay, we've been here for about 8 years, so it was 9 years ago. I don't know if I would have recognized it 10 years ago. I did 9. Certainly wouldn't have 15. I'd have gone, no way, that's not for me. I can't do that. No way, we can't be in there. No. So yeah, just thought I'd share that.
Thank you so much.
It's all right.
And what came up for me as you were sharing, it's like, well, we would all want a piece of that, you know, a piece of manifestation, and you know, those of us who do have the piece, then to kind of expand that, right? And this is also another dimension of this space. It's really to give tools and to introduce maybe new tools and to give opportunity for people to practice, to elevate themselves, you know, to these places in their life that are just like that. So thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
And yeah, so once again, Phoenix, welcome to the space. Where are you connecting to us from?
Thank you. I'm in Greece, actually.
Greece?
I'm from Perth, Western Australia, but I'm living in Greece at the moment.
Wow, so amazing. So I'm in Europe as well. So we are bridging the dimensions as well, but the regions. So great to have you here. And also for anyone who is tuning in, once again, a reminder before we go into the masterclass that anyone can join this space, and there's links available on our website, Global Unity Festival, or in the comments in the live stream. And you know, you can be completely comfortable being here. Would allow you to interact with the guide of the masterclass directly to ask some questions. But if you don't want to appear in the masterclass, that's also completely fine. Just turn your video off and you'll still be in the space without necessarily being live. So we would welcome you to join us. And I see we have actually 2 more people joining us. Wow, so exciting. Really great. So welcome. Let me just take the spotlight off. And welcome Julia and Marilyn. So those of us watching us may not see them yet, but we have more members joining. So if you would like to share where you're from, then please let us know. Hi, Julia, and hi, Marilyn. And at any point during the masterclass, feel free to ask questions or chat with us in the Zoom chat here. So thank you for joining, and I'll give the floor to Margarita. Oh, actually, before that, we also have an announcement that we'll have a musician joining us in about 45 minutes or so. Rochelle? Yes, so would you like to share in a few words about that?
Yeah, so we after Marguerite's beautiful masterclass, we're going to have Minion Lee Warden coming in here with some mantras on oneness and a beautiful sound healing to match. Kim, I've just saw Kim's face. She's very excited because she knows Minion as well, and I'm very much looking forward to experiencing that too.
Thank you so much. So this is a festival-like experience that we're creating here with different offerings and opportunities to connect. So now fully floor to you, Margarita. Looking forward to the journey.
Well, it is just, I'm so excited to be sharing this with you. So we have about 35 minutes to be able to move through the EFT tapping practice. So many of you are probably familiar with EFT. And before I move into the practice itself, and I'll sort of share with you the basic EFT technique, emotional freedom technique. If that makes sense, doesn't really, but anyway, the tapping technique. I just want you to invite you to think about your vision right now. And I actually want you to really have a close look at your vision and think about how much of that vision has been influenced by the external environment that you find yourself in, or have grown up in, or have been influenced by. And how much of that vision is truly from your heart, because we are so heavily influenced by by all the different forces that we grow up in within our environment, by the people within our environment, by the media within our environment, by our experiences. And our vision is very heavily influenced by the expectations of society, by what we think is possible, by what others think is possible for us, by what we feel is acceptable, by how we've been molded by our environment. So if you drop all of that, if you let go of all of the influences that have sort of created your ideal of who you are, and you just allow yourself to expand in the space. So give yourself permission to really expand your space and to take up space, because you're an enormous being. You are huge. You are so enormous, this spiritual being that has kind of somehow managed to bring yourself down into this little tiny, very dense package. It's very hard for spirit to kind of squeeze itself into your tiny, tiny body. So if you allow yourself to just expand and take up room and take up space and embrace the philosophy, the ideal that anything is possible, and at the same time you let go of all the expectations, all the accepted dogma that society tells us, and think about if anything was possible for your vision, for the future, for your future, for the collective future, what would that look like? And just allow your mind to embrace the fantasy of whatever comes to mind, and allow that to kind of percolate in your energy field. Because the only thing that is stopping you from creating anything that your heart desires is your belief systems, your thoughts, your ideals, your fears, your doubts. That's the only thing that's blocking you, is your fears, your doubts. So once we're going to dive into the tapping practice in just a moment. And what I'm going to invite you to do is I'm going to do just a few generic rounds of tapping to kind of warm everybody up. If somebody wishes to work with me, then you are more than welcome to work with me, and we can unmute you and I can tap with you and work you through whatever blocks you find that you feel you need to let go. Or I can continue to do generic tapping, because that can be a bit intimidating, particularly on an open space like this. So I can continue to do generic tapping, or I can ask questions. So it's very fluid. And obviously we don't have a lot of time to dive really deep today. But my intention is to be playful, and is to release whatever is holding you back and stopping you from stepping into that really expansive version for you. Thank you, Claudia. That would be excellent if nobody else volunteers. So I've got a few ideas about holding the vision and where we're going to take the tapping. So I'll show you the tapping practice for those who aren't familiar. Firstly, we're going to start by tapping on the side of the hand. So you can tap on the points with me as we go. So the side of the hand
are on the meridians, right? So, and the kind of the
Yes.
nerves, and so they connect with the deeper sort of parts of our body and beyond, right, in the mind.
Yes. Well, yes. So yes, I probably should explain what it is. I've been doing it for so long. So tapping is tapping into the energy field. So all our emotions, our belief systems are all a result of our current experiences and influences, and of the way our life is unfolded. I also believe they come from past lives, from our ancestors. So we are this like melting pot of belief systems and thoughts and trauma experiences and everything that makes up who we are and how we interact with the world. So as we tap on the meridian points, which have been known to be powerful release points, and we focus on what we want to let go. So a lot of people get caught up in the fact that when we do tapping, that we're focusing on the negative. It's like, oh, you can't focus on the negative. We've got to focus on the positive. Well, the point is that while you're focusing on the negative, you're actually, and tapping at the same time, you're actually releasing it from your energy field. You're letting it go, because I've got a hair bothering me somewhere. But it's our attachment to those beliefs and thoughts that create our suffering. So once we let go of our emotional attachment to our traumas, to our past, to our belief systems that don't serve us, to our blocks, to our fears, to our doubts, they can no longer affect us. So our past is still our past. We can't change that. But once we release our emotional attachment to that, then we are free and clear to be able to move forward without those encumbrances. So they're kind of like anchors that keep us anchored into a particular paradigm or reality, or recreating something over and over. So it's releasing those anchors from our energy field, and that's what the tapping does. That helps us to really be able to create anything that we want to create into the future. So if anybody has any questions, and please ask them in the chat. I've got my chat open so I can look at them, or we can unmute you later. But I hope does that explain tapping a little bit, Alex? Yes. Okay, cool. Thank you for the prompt. Okay, so we're going to start by tapping on the side of the hand. And then we move to the inside of the eye. Now, this is just the point that's on where the eyebrow starts, and it can be, you can do left hand, right hand, both hands, doesn't really matter. It's a very forgiving practice. Then we go to the side of the eye, so the bony ridge beside the eye, and then the bony ridge under the eye, and then underneath the nose, and then the chin point. So find the dimple where your chin is and just tap in there. Now the collarbone point, find the little knobby bits where your collarbone is and drop down about an inch and out about an inch and tap there. And under the arm. So for the girls, it's where the bra strap is. And for the boys, if you're not wearing a bra today, boys, shame on you, but it's around about 4 inches below the armpit, 3 to 4 inches below the armpit. And then the top of the head is where the crown chakra is. This is where all the meridian points meet. So it's a very powerful release point. So don't worry about remembering the points. You're just going to be following along with me and tapping, and just relax into the practice. Don't get too caught up in the seriousness of the discipline. And just so you're aware of how the different ways that you can work with EFT tapping, we need to have a target. So the target can be an emotion, it can be an event, it can be a relationship, it can be a belief, but it needs to have a target in order to have the releasing effect. And the way I like to work with, there's many different ways to work with EFT tapping. The way I like to work with it is I kind of focus on what we want to let go. So what we would term the negative side of it. And then we tap in the positive. And you can do deep, deep work with EFT tapping with a trained practitioner and release so much trauma and stuff, but we're not going to go that deep today. And you can also be very playful with it and expansive with it and do a lot of positive tapping as well. Tapping is the kind of practice that, even if you're not, like, the most powerful way to get the best results is to have a focus, to find a core belief or a core emotion or something at the center of what is keeping you stuck, and to release that. At the same time, while we all tap together, we're all releasing something. Even if you're tapping and you're not really cognizant of anything in particular, it's activating your central nervous system, and it is releasing something from your central nervous system that you need to let go of, which is just, it's so profound. Yes, Claudia, you would like to ask the question.
I would. I'd like to ask a question around like sort of what we're focusing on. So for me at the moment, I would love to focus around my son is 17 and a half, so he's stepping into a new way, and my daughter is almost 16, and so it's actually about, oh, I'm getting hot, about who I want to be as a parent, and to let go of them as their younger adolescent self, so that I can actually see them as who they are in their essence. So if I wanted to, like, how would you recommend I would define that as being the problem space? I mean, I can hear all the narky comments that I make that pop in every now and then. If I may not be breathing right, they might kind of like land in like sort of that thing that happened 2 years ago and goes, nye, 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 nye. It would be possibly good to stop doing that. But like, what would you invite me to focus on that?
Well, in relation to, so what I'm hearing is that you want to let go of how you've defined your children to date.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So I can see them as who they are.
Okay.
Becoming.
So just that. So let's do that right now. So we can go
There's
back
a little
to
bit of control issues coming in. So like so actually what's really there is I want to, but no, I don't. No, they must do what I say is really what's coming in.
Okay. Great example. Okay. So even though I really want to control my children.
Even though I really want to control my children, God, I'm really hot now.
And how they show up in my world.
And how they show up in my world.
I deeply and completely love and accept all of me.
I deeply and completely love and accept all of me. This is moving through my entire body.
So I invite everybody to tap along, even if it's not relevant to you, tap along with me anyway. Tap along with both of us. And just, you can either tap or you can repeat the phrases, whatever helps.
So we can pick something like, fear of success, fear of failure, anything as well, isn't it? And
you can. I invite you to find a thread that is kind of relative to what we're doing right now, because there'll be some thread that will be relative to you, to the way somebody else or something else is showing up in your world that isn't ideal, and you want to control it and you want to change it. So if you focus on that, for instance, then, and it could be anything. But yeah, it will be a more powerful way to shift something that's relative in your world.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can really feel it. I can really feel the control side of it, actually. Like, it's there.
Okay. Even though I really need to control my environment.
Even though I really need to control my environment.
And how everybody, including my children.
And how everyone, including my children,
show up in my environment.
Show up in my environment.
I deeply and completely. Love, honor, and accept all of me.
Love, honor, and accept all of me.
Even though I have this deep desire.
even though I have this deep desire
to control everything in my environment,
to control everything in my environment,
because I want it to be blissful and happy all the time,
because I want it to be blissful and happy all the time.
and I want my children
Excuse me. And I want my children
to play their role properly
to play their role properly
in helping me to be blissful and happy.
in helping me to be blissful and happy.
I deeply and completely
I deeply and completely
love, honor, and accept myself right now.
love, honor, and accept myself right now.
Tapping through the point, starting with the inside of the eye. I am the center of my universe.
I am the center of my universe.
Outside of the eye. And everybody else needs to play my game.
And everybody else needs to play my game.
Under the eye. Everybody else needs to make my space blissful and happy.
Everybody else needs to make my space blissful and happy.
Under the nose. I need my children to be a certain way.
I need my children to be a certain way.
Chin point. I have expectations for my children.
I have expectations for my children.
Collarbone point. And they better comply.
And they better comply.
Under the arm, because this is my world.
Because this is my world.
Top of the head. And I don't want them disrupting my world.
And I don't want them disrupting my world.
Inside of the eye. My children like to think they're self-determining beings.
My children like to think they're self-determining beings.
Outside of the eye. How deluded they are.
How deluded they are.
Under the arm. Under the eye. They're really under my control.
They're really under my control.
Under the nose. They are mine to control.
They are mine to control.
Chin point. I brought them in and I can take them out.
I brought them in and I can take them out.
I love my kids.
I love my kids.
As long as they're being the way I want them to be.
As long as they're being the way I want them to be.
They can't colour outside my lines.
They can't colour outside my lines.
Inside of the eye, because that would disrupt my world too much.
Because that would disrupt my world too much.
I love my children.
I love my children.
I love who they are.
I love who they are.
I love who they are becoming.
I love who they are becoming.
I choose to see them through new eyes.
I choose to see them through new eyes.
I choose to see them through the divine beings they are.
I choose to see them through the divine beings they are.
I choose to see them as they wish to be in the world.
I choose to see them as they wish to be in the world.
I choose to let them be whoever they wish to be.
I choose to let them be whoever they choose to be, wish to be.
And know that that is perfect and divine.
And know that that is perfect and divine.
I love who they have been.
I love who they have been.
I love who they are today.
I love who they are today.
I love who they are becoming.
I love who they are becoming.
I love that they're not like me.
I love it that they're not like me.
I love that they're like them.
I love that they're like them.
And I choose to love them no matter what.
And I choose to love them no matter what.
Just because they're not how I wish them to be all the time.
Just because they're not how I wish them to be all the time.
That's perfect.
That's perfect.
I release all emotional attachment to this control.
I release all emotional attachment to this control.
I release all emotional attachment
I release all emotional attachment
to needing to define my children.
to needing to define my children.
I release all emotional attachment
I release all emotional attachment.
To seeing them through my filters.
To seeing them through my filters.
I expand my vision when I look at my children.
I expand my vision when I look at my children.
To see all that they are becoming.
To see all that they are becoming.
To see them express themselves in the world.
To see them express themselves in the world.
I release all emotional attachment.
I release all emotional attachment.
To wanting my children to be a certain way.
To wanting my children to be a certain way.
I release all emotional attachment.
I release all emotional attachment.
To wanting my children to fit into my world.
To wanting my children to fit into my world.
I embrace the chaos.
I embrace the chaos.
I embrace the disruption.
I embrace the disruption.
I embrace them breaking the mold.
I embrace them breaking the mold.
I embrace them being whoever they wish to be.
I embrace them being whoever they wish to be.
And love them just as they are.
And love them just as they are.
Okay, deep breath. Okay, so just an explanation for everybody before I come back to you, Claudia, in that some of what I was saying right then might have sounded absolutely ridiculous, but I like to kind of play with EFT in that way. So it's not, that's awesome, Rochelle. So Rochelle's saying that was powerful for her too. So I like to kind of just be really silly. I like to use EFT in multiple ways, and being silly can actually be really helpful because it breaks down the seriousness and it helps to shift that really solid, how you dance energy. So how was your experience through that, Claudia?
Yeah, it was really good. So at the beginning, it was like I was a little girl and you were saying things that I was thinking, like sort of I can sit there and go, oh no, I've never thought that. Oh my gosh, I'm just the perfect mother. But that's that's a load of poppycock or whatever the phrase is, pollywobble. Anyway, but I was thinking those things. I'm like, yay, thou shalt that. Look those rules. As much as I can sit there and go, oh, I'm a free spirit, I'm just so relaxed, it's just like I'm not really thinking that. And so it was like, as you were saying it, I was laughing, but I felt like I was a little girl listening to someone else's secrets going, I'm spying on someone. They're speaking. And it was actually really quite amusing. And then it was really nice to stay on the point on the hand for quite some time. I found it really helped me drop deeper into it and also let go of my mind and, well, the things that I know and the processes that I do. And yes, I do tapping, but to actually also surrender and allow someone else to lead me, like to actually have that point, being on that point for that little bit longer really, really helped me drop in a little bit more, like sort of secretly, like right. As in not on purpose, I guess. Then coming to the point on the head, it was just like, it felt like it was tapping through my spine and it just went, boom. I was like, okay, sit up straight now. And it's like, and then like, even in that, it was just like, I also saw me as the little girl. So there were, as Alex often speaks about, the multidimensional aspects, which are also as part of this event. Like it wasn't just me with the kids. It was my parents with me, and then down the generations. So it was, and then I let go of the like sort of the giggly school kid in the back that's like going, and was able to then be present with it a little bit more. So yeah, it feels really nice, and it's just and it feels more effortless to see them as they are. Like I have been able to see them in their essence, but now there's a different lens on seeing them that way. It's just like, oh yeah. So yeah, it was really
more
great.
accepting, do you think?
So okay, so as an example, like say, okay, something I use, for example, the word love. Everyone has their own story on the word love, and they have their own perceptions on what love is. So everyone here would have a wildly different definition of the word love. Whereas if we come back to the purest essence of what the word love is and strip everything back, love ends up becoming more of an exhale, even if love is bliss, right? So I think it's more that it was stripped back. So there's more of a nothingness that's there as opposed to a definition of anything.
Okay, I got you.
Did that make sense?
Yeah, it's letting go of those expectations.
Yeah, so there's a nothingness there. And I like to be in the nothingness so that way I can be open to whatever it is that comes up and is there.
I love it. I love that awareness. And everything, because everything is perception, and our perception colors our world, and our perception colors our experience of the world. So if we release all our perceptions and our expectations, and we just allow whatever it is to be, for saying your children, without any expectations, without any perceptions, and just observe, it allows, and it gives them permission energetically then to expand into the fuller version of themselves, because they're not sensing, because we're all one, we're all connected, so they're not sensing the expectation from you or any potential judgment from you, or that that kind of external force that's saying, no, you need to be a certain way.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. And also what I do find, and like sort of putting myself like in front of the train here or in front of the bus, again, I'm not really great with the sayings, but you get the gist of the saying. Like being someone who's really quite spiritual, like you can kind of end up falling into a bit of the manipulation side of going, I'm putting this sweetness there, and because I've got all I think about is you. But the reality is totally trying to manipulate the situation to be what I want it to be, as much as I don't like to. Like, I don't really want to be like that, but it's just like what I'm noticing, there are subtleties around that, which I find it really interesting.
Oh, look, we all like to control our world. Absolutely.
Yeah. But Rochelle had some really nice little plays, and Rochelle's got lots and lots of kids.
What was your experience during that, Rochelle?
I just had the deep realization that it was my expectation of it being different that was creating it with my children, because I felt
resistance.
Yeah. So the annoyance of, or that they wouldn't fit into my perfect world that I've created, right? I just had a deeper realizing that I actually created that, instead of being like there for them in that way, in letting them be their own, playing their own game and being loving and accepting of it, that I was deciding they should look or be a different way. And then because they didn't match, I was creating my own annoyance there. So it was just a beautiful tool in like understanding how I'm creating it, and that it's kind of like I can just let go of those expectations.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing how that works. And it's funny because I just before we started this today, I did a post on my Facebook that I was inspired to put up. And it was about what's unfolding in the world right now. But the title of it was Be Like Water. And it's like when we move into a situation and we are fluid and we are adaptive and we are non-resistant, and we allow ourselves to be like water in that situation. So say, for instance, with certain forces that might be wanting to control us in the world, if we turn into water, they can't contain us. Nothing can contain us, nothing. And water can be an incredibly powerful, destructive force. We've seen that just in the last few couple of months here in Australia. that that water can be a deadly force. So when we are like water and we come together collectively like water, and we stop resisting, we stop playing the game their way, we stop fighting against, and we're just fluid and we go together, we actually become this impenetrable force, because you can't penetrate water. It's kind of like you can go through water, but and you can perhaps disrupt it, but you can't, it will mold around you. And if you stay under it, it will drown you. So just thinking about that from the perspective of any of all situations, be like water. Everything that you come up against, be like water. So hope that's helpful. So what I'm going to do now is do some generic tapping on holding the vision, because we've only got a few minutes left. So I have some things that I'd like to tap on to maybe give you some inspiration on how to be able to co-create your world with ease and grace and flow and non-resistance. So start by tapping on the side of the hand. Everybody play along, please. So this is going to be about embracing your infinite power to create anything and everything that you truly desire and deserve. Even though I've been playing very small, I deeply and completely love and accept all of me. Even though I've been afraid to embrace my infinite power, I love, honor, and accept all of me right now. Even though I've allowed the expectations of society and of my surroundings and environment to hold me back from being the truly powerful version of me, I choose to love, honor, and accept who I am and how I feel right now. Tapping through the point, starting with the inside of the eye. I've been holding myself back. I've been playing small. I've been trying to fit in with everybody's expectations. I've been trying to fit into society. Truth is, I don't fit in. I've never fitted in. I really want to be accepted by those in my life. I release all emotional attachment to the rejection of others. I release all emotional attachment to needing to be accepted. I release all emotional attachment to playing small. I release all emotional attachment to the fear of rejection. I release all emotional attachment to the fear of failure. I release all emotional attachment to the fear of success. I release all emotional attachment to all my self-doubt. I give myself permission to dream huge. I give myself permission to expand into the infinitely powerful version of me. I give myself permission to be infinitely powerful. I give myself permission to be a force to be reckoned with. I love dreaming huge. I love exploring all the possibilities. I choose to know anything is possible. I choose to love the journey no matter where it takes me. I choose to allow the unfolding. I release all blocks and limiting beliefs. I release all lack of self-worth. I give myself permission to be all of me. I give myself permission to play. I give myself permission to have fun. I give myself permission to bring all my dreams to life. I love that there are infinite possibilities. And I love that I get to realize whatever my heart desires. Okay, taking a deep breath. And release it. And another deep breath. And let it out. So beyond this practice, what I'd invite you to do is really unpack and sit and ask questions, like, because the really juicy stuff for you is going to come up when you ask the right question. So sit with the question, what really is holding me back? If I gave myself permission to imagine that anything is possible, what is it that my soul truly desires to create? What if I embrace all possibilities? And what am I really afraid of? What am I really afraid of? Because that's where the blocks come in. It's your fear. And of course, FEAR, false evidence appearing real. So what's the other one? Fear everything and run, or face everything and rise. So I love those acronyms, but it's unpacking what those limiting beliefs are within you that are stopping you from being the best version of you. Because when you step into that truly powerful version of you and you realize that anything is possible, the sky's the limit, then you get to play in that space. And it's so expansive. So I hope that's been really helpful today. I know that we are on a time schedule, so I'll wrap it up there. If anybody wants to ask questions, maybe they can ask them in the chat with the limited time that we have. No, everybody's good.
Thank you so much. It was really powerful. Even before, when we were practicing, when we were not, making any statements, I was like, wow, okay, like I could feel it. So that's so powerful. Thank you.
You're welcome. I love the practice of EFT, purely because you can do so much with it. It's so flexible. It's wonderful.
Hi.
Hi.
Do you always only use the one side when you go under your arm?
Oh, I just go to the side that I'm most familiar with. But it doesn't really matter. You
don't need to do both sides.
Yeah, you can switch. If I find one arm getting tired, I just switch. So yeah, it doesn't. So long as you're stimulating one of the points, it's fine. Yeah. Cool. Awesome. I will hand it over to whoever's next to lead us into the next beautiful practice. Thank you. Thank you for playing, everybody.
I am so very excited. Thank you so much, Margarita. I feel energized. Like I feel like an effervescent, like bubbly effervescent after that. And I also feel like I called in both of those tapping experiences because even though they weren't for me, I was like, oh yeah, letting go of fear. It's like definitely letting go of fear of success. I'm going into all of it. So thank you so much for all of your magic. And I am very, very excited for you all to experience Mignon now, who is a very, very talented sound healer, musician, and just an amazing all-round phenomenal human. I have had the honor of experiencing her before in the Earth Elders space, and every time that I got to experience her, my whole body was shifted, and I felt such a calling towards her and her energy. And yeah, so I'm very excited for you to experience her and us all to be able to just bask in your light for a while, Mignon, while you bring us together in some beautiful mantras to bring us into oneness. And so I'm going to hand over to you, gorgeous human, to be able to tell us a bit about what you're doing and take us through your beautiful healing.
Thank you. Thank you. Wonderful to be here. I'm wanting to kind of go into a heart practice. So I've got you probably can't see, but I've got a multiple of instruments here. So this is a Spanish monochord. Which is very stunningly beautiful, and I've got a gong behind me here, which is from Italy, and a crystal bowl, and I'm going to be just bringing in the energy of the Divine Mother. Like for me, when I hold a vision of what I would like life to be, I would like much more kindness, much more of the divine feminine in the world. So I just wanted to take us on a little sound journey. And I know you're all muted, but this is about singing along as loudly and as off key as you want to. You don't have to be a singer. So we'll just start off with, I just want to thank you for that beautiful tapping workshop. And I want to just also, I love water is my element. I swim every day. I practice craniosacral therapy, and I'm not sure, I've just got you on the screen now, Rochelle, but something switched over. And I love the be water, because that's kind of how I live my life. And it reminded me of a story of, this is a true story of, during the time in New York when everybody was coming out on the street about the 99% about the wealth of the world being, just in a few people's hands, and they were objecting to that, and it was like a big financial reset. And there was this beautiful Anandamaga monk, and he lived in this tiny little flat just above where they were protesting, and he used to go down and sit with them and do sort of pop-up meditations where everybody would just sit and start meditating with him. And they did a march in protest across the Brooklyn Bridge, and the police arrived and stopped everyone, and they had tear gas and guns, and there was all this like force, standing there, and he just sat down and started meditating. And they didn't know what to do, so they prodded him and they punched him, and he just was like water. He just sat there with his eyes closed and in a state of samadhi. He was meditating, and so they picked him up and tried to put him in the paddy wagon, but water's very heavy, so they had to kind of really maneuver him, and they managed to get him in the paddy wagon, and they got him to the police stand, and they started shouting at him, and he just opened his eyes and looked at them with love in his eyes, and he said, "I'm meditating." And there was nothing they could do. So that for me is a beautiful human way of looking at the power of water, just dropping into that space. So the first practice that I wanted to do is just, for me, every leader in the world and every human being in the world dropped into our hearts, what a wonderful world it would be. It would just be such a different place. And the sound ah in the Hindu tradition, in Sanskrit, is ah, the sound of love. In the Hebrew, Shema, which is the most sacred of, that's also about love and opening up to the divine. In the Arabic Sufi tradition, La ilaha illallah, the ah sound. So in many, many traditions, the ah sound brings love. And when you add an M to the ah sound, you're bringing in the mother, you're bringing in the ma sound. And for some of us, that's about our connection as mothers to our mother, to the mother energy. So I'm just going to start singing the tone ma, and this is a beautiful rose quartz crystal bowl. And just join me if you feel called to. So let's just start humming. Dropping into your heart space and opening up into ma. Play with the sound. So just imagining a thread of golden love light between all of us that are in this room and everyone who's watching on every platform today. And let's just do this again, just opening our mouths and letting the sound of love pour from our hearts. I'm going to move into a mantra. The mantra that clears away all blockages to the divine feminine, to more kindness and caring entering the planet and being with us at this time. And the words are Om Gam Shrim Lakshmiye Namaha. It's to the goddess Lakshmi. Om Gam Shrim Lakshmiye Namaha. Om Gam Shri 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 Lakshmiye Namaha. Mother, I feel you under my feet. Mother, I feel your heartbeat. Mother, I feel you under my feet. Mother, I feel your heartbeat. Yeah, 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 Mother, I feel you under my feet. Mother, I feel your heartbeat. Mother, I feel you under my feet. Mother, I feel your heartbeat. Becoming aware of the expansive love that you have in your heart right now. Just letting it filter out into this room, beyond the room, to everyone else who's watching and with us today. And out to everyone who needs it in the world. Just bringing your energy back from the planet, back from everyone who's watching, back into the room, back into your own body. And just put your hand on your heart and just channel some love, some kindness to yourself right now. Just becoming aware of yourself as a fluid being. Becoming aware of the tides. Tides that move and ebb and flow slowly within you. Just becoming aware of the fluids of your blood that move within your veins. The saliva in your mouth, the fluid in your eyes, your sexual fluids. Just become aware that you are a fluid body. And allowing yourself to soften and be like water. Just imagining the great expanse of ocean around you. Feeling your connection to yourself, to the waters around the planet. Just feeling your connection to the earth, feeling the bones, your sitting bones, the bones of your legs, the bones of your whole pelvic area, the bones of your feet. Just letting the energy of all you've experienced so far today just pour through you back to the Mother Earth. Thank you. I'll hand you back to Rochelle now.
Thank you. This was a magical journey, and this was right at the peak. So I feel this really was our moment of being together and uplifting ourselves and each other. Thank you so much, Mignon, for the beautiful offering, and I invite us to just for a few more moments to anchor this in our lives, to anchor this into our day ahead and beyond. And really thank ourselves for being here, and thank each other. And thank our bodies for serving us so patiently and diligently. And really tune in to yourself, your deepest self. And allow it to guide you. Allow your body to guide you, your heart to guide you. Just for a few moments, let's allow our attention to move towards our highest version of ourselves. Let's allow ourselves to see what it is to be the highest version of ourselves. What does that look like? What does that feel like? How do we uplift ourselves? Let's move beyond to see our nearest and dearest ones in the mind's eye. And let's thank them for being on our journey. Let's direct our attention to the highest version of them and our relationship with them. Let's hold the vision where we uplift our nearest and dearest ones. What does that look like? What do we do? What do we say? Or just be? And let's move forward into our community. And thank everyone who comes to your heart or mind right now for being on this journey with you. And let's see the highest version of that, of your community. Just hold in your mind's eye what it is to uplift your community and each other. Just allow that to move all the way through your mind and body and heart. If you can, bring your whole country to your mind's eye. Just imagine maybe some tiny glimpses, or maybe some bigger images or ideas. What would the highest version of the land that you are in would be? Just allow yourself to believe for a moment that it is possible. Allow yourself to see your place, your role in that bigger picture, the highest version of the land and country you're in. What you do, where you are, how you are. If you can, step into the vision our Mother Earth, our whole planet. Thank it for carrying you for all these years, through all these journeys. And in your mind's eye, imagine what the highest version of it is. Just for a moment, just hold that vision of all of us, human beings, animals, plants, seas, rivers, waters, being in harmony. Each of us in our true nature, in our true place. Living out our role in this great divine journey. Allow yourself to believe that it is possible. That by coming together in our different initiatives and projects and communities, we can create this together. Let's complete with coming back to ourselves, this moment, our body, the place where you're in right now. Take a deep breath. And when you're ready, come back to this moment, our space here. This part of our journey. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. And this is really the heart of this space, the heart of the intention. Just once a month, at least for 10 minutes, coming together and creating this ripple, this wave, and multiplying it and co-creating and exploring and experimenting and just connecting in our communities and not just here. And we could, create local spaces and just do that at the same time, at the same moment, so that we can really tap into our power of our collective consciousness and see where it takes us. It's a process of discovery. And thank you for discovering this together. And thank you so much. So now the floor is open to all of us to reconnect, and we're free to explore and network, and we can stay here for a little longer. We can complete the live stream at some point and just stay in the space and socialize a little bit. So all of that is open for us to co-create. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. Very beautiful.
It's like nothing needs to be said anymore. It's just really about capturing this moment and carrying it forwards in our lives. So that's where sometimes the words are unnecessary. And yeah, once again, thank you. And our intention is for us to come together on the first Sunday of every month and those who need to drop off, feel free to drop off, and those who can stay, perhaps when we complete our live stream, we can still stay and connect a bit more. And we will be continuing in the other waves, so other regions. So this was our Asia and Pacific wave. We have Europe, Africa, and Middle East in a few hours, and then the American wave. So we'll be continuing to create these ripples, and welcome to join us the next month, which I think in June is going to be the 3rd of June, 5th of June, actually. And of course, you're welcome to explore on our platform, globalunityfestival.org. So that's my part, completing the few bits. And yeah, thank you once again, Mignon, for such a beautiful journey. And if anyone else feels to share anything, then feel free. And otherwise, I will then complete the live stream and just continue to be in the space.
I just want to give so much thanks to Mignon for being here and bringing all of her magic to this space. Like I said, every time I've experienced you, my soul is like, yes. And this time was exactly the same, and in all of its own unique way. And I just really loved that, bringing the analogy of the water and the rippling, and also, you know, back to that mother sound and that mother, you know, that nurturing. And yeah, I just want to give so much thanks for that experience, and for all that you are in bringing that to us, you know, and everything it takes to be here. So thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for opening your hearts and letting that in, because that's what we need in the world right now, is that loving kindness and connection and being in our hearts. So thank you for being open and inviting me. Thank you.
Yes, I'd also like to say thank you, Mignon. That was amazing. It was a beautiful resonance that was felt through me, through everyone that was involved in this moment of expansion. So I really appreciate you holding that space and allowing it to grow, which was quite epic in that. And funny enough, I was actually just doing a video about water yesterday, about the awareness of water and to allow yourself to flow. And just like any river, when someone throws something in the river, water with a clear vision has direction and power and goes through any challenge. So thank you for allowing that to come into the space. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, I think we'll complete our live stream now, and welcome to stay for a moment, and see you next time, this same time, same place, from wherever you are, to connect in the peak in the same moment. And 5th of June is our next festival.